Hello, this is Kate from dailytarotgirl.com, and for this week's reading, I'm going to be using my newest Oracle card deck. It's called the Oracle of the Essences by Monica the Enchantress. So we're just going to give these cards a shuffle. I love how these cards feel. I just did an unboxing video of this deck, and I'm really excited to use this deck in a reading. This is one of those decks that just really clicked with me right away. So I'm going to draw 3 cards. And you know when you finally find a deck that you know this is going to be your deck that you're going to do readings with all the time? That's how I feel about this deck. So I'm excited to do this first reading for you guys. Okay, so I set the intention to get some insight into the upcoming week and what we can expect. So the first card is going to represent Monday and Tuesday. Okay, so we have geranium, and the keywords on this card are acceptance and nurturing. And I kind of feel like this has a very Empress kind of vibe to it, like the Empress in the tarot deck. I can't help but draw parallels to tarot when I look at oracle decks. So this kind of reminds me a little bit of the Empress. So Monday, Tuesday, as we start the week off, you really want to tap into your nurturing qualities. So this could be about really nurturing others in your life, whether that's people or pets, or nurturing some kind of project, or even nurturing yourself. It feels like that is kind of the right sort of mode to be in at the beginning of the week. But this is also about acceptance and being kind of laid back about things. So this isn't, the beginning of the week is not a time to be super hard on yourself or critical, or even being super organized or focused or anything like that. This is about being kind of laid back, letting things unfold, going with the flow, kind of seeing where life takes you, and really living from your heart. So being able to connect with others, appreciate things, and just being present. It makes me think of how this time of year, we're getting to the end of May, beginning of June, and this is the time of year where my garden is starting to come into bloom. And in the mornings, I love to just go out in my garden and sit for an hour in the morning with my tea, and I don't really do anything. I just sit there and I just kind of think about stuff, and I look at the plants, and it's just nice to just be able to be. And I think that's what this card is all about. And then as we move into the middle of the week, so Wednesday and Thursday, we have time, which is all about bravery and resentment. Okay, so time has a very different energy. It's more of a masculine energy as opposed to geranium. And I'm even thinking about the smells of how geranium smells versus thyme. And thyme is more of a sharp, kind of a focused sort of smell. It's very herby, whereas geranium is a very, very soft, kind of passive smell. I'm not sure how a smell can be passive, but it's a very gentle smell. Do you notice how when you smell certain flowers and herbs, they put you in a certain mood? And to me, geranium puts me in a very relaxed, almost loving sort of mood, whereas thyme, it's more motivating and kind of uplifting, I guess. All right, so the middle of the week we have time, and I feel like the middle of the week is a time for you to really stand your ground, and you may be called upon to stand up for yourself, to be somehow courageous and do something that might be something that you consider kind of difficult or a little bit outside of your comfort zone. It's it requires you to be assertive, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And of course, that word resentment is also on this card. And I think that's interesting. And I feel like this could be saying that middle of the week is a time to acknowledge where in your life you feel resentful. Is there a particular person, or maybe more than one person, that you resent in your life? Is there a situation that you resent? Is there some kind of duty or task that you do on a daily basis that you resent, that you wish you didn't have to do, that you really don't like? And really looking at those things in your life that you resent and asking yourself, is there, why do I resent this? Is there anything I can do to change this? Like, what is this situation telling me about myself? And because sometimes whenever there's resentment, it's an indication that we need to change how we do things. Even if the only thing we can change is how we look at something and how we think about something. But I feel like that is what time is encouraging you to do. And that takes bravery, I think, to look at something like resentment and really dive deep into it and explore it. And then as we get to the end of the week, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we have birch. And birch, the two keywords on this card are support and union. Interesting. I'm just going to look at this card for a moment. I feel like there's so much symbolism on this card. Like, I'm really drawn to the bridge, and this guy reminds me of the hermit, how he's holding like a light or a lantern on a stick, and he's going over this bridge, and it's almost like there's something about like crossing over, making some kind of transition at the end of the week, and he's going into this thick forest, and I find that interesting. I'm not sure what it represents, but it's almost like he's going into, I feel like actually this card is almost about like doing some kind of inner journeying or inner work, like where you're going into the subconscious, whether that's going into your dreams, going into your emotional issues. But there's some vibe I get with this card about really kind of going into your stuff and exploring it. And in order to do that, you need to feel supported. You need to have some kind of support. And this is about union, because you're achieving union with your deeper self, with maybe your unconscious or subconscious parts of yourself. So I really feel like this card is about doing the inner work that's required here this weekend. So this could be about spending the weekend, doing meditative journeying, maybe even writing, doing some journaling, doing some dream analysis, looking at your dreams, or even looking at the patterns in your life and the things that you feel most emotional about, or even looking back at the things that you resent in your life or the people you resent and doing some exploration or some work around that. Okay, I'm just going to zoom out and look at all of these cards together and see if anything jumps out at me. And as I do this, I invite you to do the same. So I invite you to look at these cards and see, if there's a particular card that stands out to you. Are you drawn to something? Is there a particular message that you're getting from these cards? I feel like the first card, geranium, and I feel like the first card is about connecting with others and bonding with others. And I feel like the last card, birch, is about connecting with yourself and bonding with yourself. And time is kind of in the middle. So I feel like overall this week, in a lot of ways, is about finding those opportunities in the week to connect. So whether that is connecting with another person, connecting with an animal, connecting with yourself, really look for those chances and those opportunities to connect. And this is about not just going through the motions of day-to-day life. I think we can get so sucked into our routines and just keeping busy and getting things done and taking care of ourselves that sometimes we forget to stop, take a breath, and really connect to ourselves in the present moment. And when we're able to go within and make those connections, I think that gives life a deeper sense of meaning, and we have a much richer experience when we do that. Like, think about eating, for example. And I know I'm going off on a tangent here, but like when you're eating like a really good like dessert, like a chocolate pudding cake or something like that, you can, if you're watching TV at the same time and you're talking to someone, you're eating this, it's very easy to just sort of shovel food in your mouth and only kind of enjoy it. But if you just stop and completely focus on what you're eating and just really tasting it and noticing the textures and the flavors and really like connecting with the food that you're eating, it's such a much more rich, full-bodied experience, and it can feel so magical and so powerful, as opposed to just mindlessly eating something while you're doing something else. So I feel like that is kind of what this week is all about. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this reading, and I hope you have a wonderful week. You can find out more about card reading on my website, dailytarotgirl.com. I'll put a link to my site in the description box below this video, and you can subscribe to my channel because I do these readings every week. So thanks so much for watching, and have a good week.